Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Jess and this week I am sharing all things books. Earlier this week, I shared my favorite books from 2022, reviews on the books that I read in January, my top 5 love and romance books, my top 5 thrillers, and today I want to share my top 5 personal development, mental wellness, financial wellness type of books. I've read so many of these because this used to be the only type of book that I would ever read. So I'm really excited to share these. I have a lot that I've read, so let's dive into it. So first on my kind of personal development, mental health type of book, I am putting Shoe Dog, which is a story about the founder of Nike, and his name is Phil Knight, and he just has a really interesting story as far as how he started Nike. I personally love Nike products, so I thought that this book would be really interesting. Also, I have started businesses myself, and learning and hearing about other people's experiences I think is really beneficial to me to encourage me to do the same. Basically, Phil Knight, I think he had like 50 bucks. He took it to Japan. He wanted to find an inexpensive shoe that was high quality. He literally started selling shoes out of the trunk of his car. He also talks about how he found his first kind of like influencer marketing and how he really built his business around finding somebody who would like the product, use it, and share about it with their friends. And so overall, I thought that this story was really interesting. And if you're interested in kind of becoming an entrepreneur, if you're interested in starting a business, I highly recommend this one. And even if you're not, if you just like Nike products, I recommend this book because it's a really interesting story about how he got started. Okay, next I have I Will Teach You to Be Rich. This book is by Ramit Sethi, I think is how you pronounce his last name. I really liked this book because in general, I like financial wellness type of books. I just feel like school doesn't teach you this, so I find a lot of this information from books that I like to read. And yeah, I thought that this book was really helpful for this topic because a lot of other books I've read, I feel like are very philosophical, kind of talking about money in a philosophical way. And this book is literally a 6-week guide to get you to become wealthy, get you to become rich. I liked that it was very specific steps that you could take today to improve your quality of life and ultimately become wealthier. For my next favorite book, I would put Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. This one was really good. It was really different. It from the perspective of a guy who felt a lot of pressure to become a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, whatever, and ultimately actually decided to become a monk. He went through monk school, and this book shares his experiences, what he learned while he was learning how to become a monk. Things that you learn in this book are just so applicable to everyday life. It could be applicable to your professional world. It could be applicable to your romantic relationships, your friendships, all of the above. And so I just really liked this book because I felt like it was so applicable to so many different pieces of life. Things like overcoming negativity, how to stop overthinking, how to stop comparing yourself to other people. And honestly, I really want to reread this book because I just feel like it was that powerful. I think it actually came with a workbook if you bought the physical book. If you're feeling anxious or depressed or down, I really recommend this book because it will kind of help uplift you and turn your thoughts positive. Next, I want to talk about You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. So I literally have read this book probably 10 times. This used to be my go-to book when I was feeling down, when I was feeling like I can't make the amount of money that I want to make. I feel like this book really just changed my mindset around money. If you have grown up with parents that maybe were really frugal or didn't spend money, didn't like spending money, or they were just really bad with money, any of that, I think this book can literally change your life as far as how you think about money and what you're capable of. This book, I think, really impacted how I think about money, how I think about making money, and it has been on repeat in my life because I grew up with kind of limiting beliefs about money, and I think that this book has changed my perspective and ultimately helped me get to where I am today. Overall, if you are interested in money-making books, I highly recommend this one. Okay, and then my favorite personal development book I have to recommend, Can't Hurt Me. I've talked about this book already before. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins is such a good book. What he went through his childhood, from being beaten by his father, he went through buds, and just the way that he persevered through his challenges in life are just so inspirational and so encouraging. This is really his life story and how he became who he is today. Again, this isn't like a you should do this or you should do that. It's more of like a here's what I went through, through, and this is why you can also become a better version of yourself. If you also persevere, if you also take on life's challenges and don't give up, then you can also come out the other side and be a stronger and better person for it. And I think just by hearing his examples of the things that he went through, you're like, oh, my life isn't that bad. That book was just really, really good for those reasons as well, and can't recommend that one enough. So I think that about wraps it up for my book series. As I mentioned before, I do plan to continue to review my favorite books. As I'm reading books every single month, I plan to review each of those books, share my favorites, be honest about them, and let you guys know what I'm loving. And of course, please do let me know if you've read any of those books that I just talked about, and if you have any other suggestions as far as your favorite personal development type of books, all of the above. I would love to hear them. And yeah, that wraps it up for my 5-day book series. I hope that you guys enjoyed this series. Tomorrow's video is going to be sharing a little bit more like YouTube-y tips and things that I've learned in my first couple months on YouTube, and I've almost hit 400 subscribers, so gonna be sharing kind of how I got there. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, and I will talk to you guys next time. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the link above where I have linked to my entire bookworm playlist.